Give me the principal names again. Jules. Vincent. Jimmy. Bonnie. It's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10. You must be Jimmy, yes? And this is your home? I.M.O. Reviews. I review movies. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed that little intro. Today we're reviewing Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino. So what is Pulp Fiction about? That's actually quite a tough question. On a surface level, it's about two hitmen retrieving a briefcase for their gangster boss, Marcellus Wallace. In amongst that, you have Bruce Willis playing a retiring boxer who is trying to get one last payday before the end of his career. You also have Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer in the cast as a Bonnie and Clyde, if you will. They are lovers who rob people, and that also intertwines into the story as well. There is a lot going on in Pulp Fiction, and it is told in a jumbled timeline. Essentially, the film gives you jigsaw pieces to this one single story and allows the audience to take its time and put the pieces together as to how it actually works in a linear fashion. When this came out in 1994, that was not a thing. That didn't happen. You told your story in a linear fashion and that was that. You moved on with your day. Tarantino kind of broke cinema with this one. As soon as Pulp Fiction entered the zeitgeist, millions and millions of false pretenders came to follow, all inspired by Pulp Fiction. Every film became like a crime drama with lots of dialogue, and it was just so obvious that they were copying Pulp Fiction. And you just kind of have to accept the fact in writing, and possibly even in directing in some areas, that you just can't copy Tarantino. He is one of a kind, in particularly with dialogue.
I don't want to hear about no motherfucking ifs. All I want to hear from your ass is, you ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker. Go back in there, chill them out, and wait for the cavalry, which should be coming directly.
You ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker. Go back in there and chill them out, and wait for the wolf, who should be coming directly.
I've never known a director or a screenwriter to write such aimless dialogue at times that is so engaging and yet also so relevant. You can say this about most of his films, but when not much is happening and the characters just have some downtime, they really have some downtime. The plot completely takes a sidestep and we just get to marinate in the characters. And no one does it like Quentin Tarantino. The performances are A+. Everyone is incredible here. For me, the personal favourite is Samuel L. Jackson. He is just on fire in every single scene. You can tell he is just lapping this up, loving the character that he's been given.
This is a tasty burger.
I also like John Travolta a lot in this. This is probably my favourite John Travolta performance. I know a lot of people don't like him in this movie. They think he's a little bit dopey at times for a hitman, and I can kind of see that. But for me, I think he plays Vincent Vega perfectly. He very much comes across as a man who just can't make sense of any of this and almost doesn't want to, so will just, dive his head into drugs and women and exploring the world and just being alive for now rather than trying to think about existential things, about God and how things actually work. Do we have a say in the universe? He doesn't get it. He doesn't want to get it. So he will just be here. He will just exist for how long he gets. And I feel that that just comes through so evidently through John Travolta's performances. The way his eyes are kind of drugged out, the way he slouches in his chair, the way he's just very coolio about things half the time.
You ever seen that show Cops? I was watching it one time and there was this cop on. He was talking about this gunfight he had in the hallway with this guy, right? And he just unloaded on this guy and nothing happened. He didn't hit nothing. Okay, it was just him and this guy. I mean, you know, it's freaky, but it happens.
He has opinions, he has thoughts, but at the same time, he feels like it doesn't really matter. Samuel L. Jackson, on the other hand, feels like it absolutely matters. He feels that God absolutely exists. He feels that we don't say what happens in this universe. We are on a mission. We have a message to deliver. We have a task to achieve. And it's so fascinating to have that as the subject matter between these two at times. It's brilliant.
Time for us to leave, Jules.
Don't do that. Don't fucking blow this shit up. What just happened here was a fucking miracle.
Chill, Jules. This shit happens.
Wrong. Wrong. This shit doesn't just happen.
There is so much subtext in Pulp Fiction. So much is being said and so much isn't being said. You can totally read into things and potentially be right. It's actually quite fun to go online or YouTube itself and look up Pulp Fiction fan theories. There are some genuinely really good ones on there that could be true. I say this about almost every Quentin Tarantino movie, but the soundtrack, yeah, I love it. It's incredible. This is how good it is. After watching it, the very next day, I was listening to the soundtrack because I just wanted to go through that again, to hear Dick Dale Misallude one more time. It's an amazing soundtrack. It's iconic. This film is an experience. It really is. It's long, but you don't feel it. It feels like you are just immersed in the universe that is Pulp Fiction. And it's so quotable. If you have seen it several times, you'll know what I mean. But I was watching it and I couldn't help but just say the quotes out loud with a big smile on my face. Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. It's incredible. I love it so much. This film makes me happy. What's actually very fun in the revisit of Pulp Fiction is that you can really feel what came from this movie. There is a tracking shot of Bruce Willis as he goes back to his old apartment to retrieve his watch that his girlfriend didn't bring with her. And my immediate thought was, this feels like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. The way he moves, the way the camera follows him, it really feels like this might have been the moment that inspired the creators of Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the film in itself could be an inspiration for the game Grand Theft Auto. Now, my own theories on the film, if you're interested. There's lots of Easter eggs in the movie as well. I don't know if all of them are on purpose. For example, the samurai sword that Bruce Willis takes to then kill Zed in the dungeon down below, I think that's a Hattori Hanzo blade, as in from Kill Bill. And if you remember from Kill Bill, Michael Madsen's character did say he pawned his Hattori Hanzo blade. And in Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis gets the samurai sword from a pawn shop. I don't know the specifics. There might be very different details on the blade that could completely bin that theory, but I like that. I really want that to be true. It's just a small bit of connective tissue that if you're a big fan of Tarantino's work, you're like, oh, that's fun. There is a theory that what is in the briefcase is that it is Marcellus Wallace's soul. And I do like that theory. There is a lot of biblical subtext throughout the film about potentially how Jules and Vincent are angels on a mission. And I can kind of see that. The numbers that open the briefcase are 666. I don't think that's a crazy theory to believe. I can totally read into it. But actually, I must admit, for the longest time, I thought what was in the briefcase was the meaning of life. I know that might sound really stupid, but hear me out. For me, the actual meaning, the actual soul of Pulp Fiction is asking what the meaning of life is. What is it? Why are we here? Do we have a say? Is it all just uncontrolled events colliding together like this film kind of is. The very fact that you have Vincent Vega and Jules on the opposite sides of each other in this belief kind of solidifies that for me. To be honest, for all of the quotes there are in the movie, my favourite piece of dialogue is actually Jules talking to Tim Roth's character at the very end.
But I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
It sums his character up for me so perfectly, and it fits the idea of he's trying to have control of his own life in this crazy world. So that's why I believed it was the meaning of life. That's why everyone was so drawn to it. Everybody wanted it. That's why everyone's so sort of like flabbergasted upon seeing it. That was just my personal take on what it was. But Quentin Tarantino actually has said himself, it is whatever you want it to be. And I love that. I love that from the filmmaking perspective. That is great. Let your audience think. Let them have an opinion. Let them discuss and let them consider possibilities. I love that. Are there any things in the film that I don't like? Yes, but I don't know if I would change them. I am of the belief that Quentin Tarantino uses the N-word far too much. And, of course, I don't love the rape scene. I mean, who does? It's a rape scene. It's not easy. It doesn't get any easier. But would I remove it? Probably not, no. It's really quite an iconic scene. Everyone's done a parody of it. Even The Simpsons did a parody of that scene. That's how iconic it is. What more can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It's a masterpiece. It is a piece of art. It is an experience. It is a breath of fresh air. It is immersive. It is hypnotizing, and it will stay with you. So bear witness as Pulp Fiction gets an 11 out of 10. I bet there's some maths heads out there who are just having a meltdown because I've just done an 11 out of 10 and they're just thinking, you can't do that, that's not how it works. Well, that is how it works because that's how fucking good Pulp Fiction is. It breaks the scale. And it is the first inductee into the I.M.O. Hall of Fame. Just a little something new we're doing. It's going to be films very much on my opinion, of course. But I haven't seen everything. Make some suggestions to me. What would you like to see? What do you think is worthy of the I.M.O. Hall of Fame? Thanks for watching this review. Please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below. I'd love to know what you think of Pulp Fiction. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.